Did you leave when you realized that your boyfriend wouldn't spend a dime to save your life? I was at a bar with my boyfriend and his friends a few weeks ago. My boyfriend wanted to chill, so we thought we could invite his friends for one night. We all had a great time. We danced on top of the tables. We were singing and drinking. I remember feeling totally fine 1 second, and then feeling unsteady next. I lost connection with my body. I got confused and scared. It felt like I was floating, but I couldn't really move. But then, I felt so calm. It was all types of weird. I could hear voices that were not there. I saw colors and shapes. There were flashes of light. I also heard laughing and crying. At that time, I did not know what to feel. I only remember bits and pieces. Most things that happened don't exist in my memory. I became unconscious. According to my boyfriend, the few times I opened my eyes, they looked very scared. He did call for an ambulance, but they didn't come. According to him, it was one of the first things he did. But he told them I was conscious. So they didn't feel the need to come. An ambulance is basically free here, meaning it would have saved him some money. Then, he was told to get a taxi and bring me to the emergency room fast. He managed to get me into the taxi. It started to drive. My boyfriend told me that during the drive, the driver told him that he would have to pay $200 extra if I threw up. My boyfriend firmly said no. He stopped the driver. He chose to walk all the way to the emergency room. I was still unconscious at this point. He didn't know why. He was told that my life was at risk, but he chose not to rush. Luckily for him, the police were driving around. They saw me lying on the ground. They asked him what was up. He told them what happened. They drove us to the emergency room with blue lights on. They drove fast. I'm very grateful that they took the situation very seriously. Without them, my boyfriend would have been lucky to even get me to the emergency room. After that incident, I asked him what he would have done differently if this happened today, and paying the taxi was not on the list. I could not believe he wouldn't even spend a small amount of money to save my life. The results came back, and it turned out I got drugged that night. It got worse. The day after, he forced me to walk with shaky legs from the emergency room to my apartment. A walk that should have been 20 minutes took me 2 freaking hours. He told me that he let me walk instead of paying a taxi for $40. He even told me how expensive that little drive would have been. It's like he wanted me to pay him back or something. He constantly stated that $40 for a short ride was too much, although we both knew that it was the normal price here. He looked up symptoms related to being drugged. He found that long-term symptoms would mostly be trauma. The next weekend, I had to be with his friends again. There were some people I didn't know. They talked about that night. They even made a little joke about me being drugged. I felt awful. He also ignored me once when I said that someone was following me. He was never scared of letting me walk around in town at night. But if a female friend did it, then he would have to follow her. He invalidates my feelings when I'm scared, instead of making me feel better or protecting me. Besides that, he's a kind man who doesn't want to hurt people. I am really confused.